conversations with wedding professionals as they share their stories, insights, and tips from inside the wedding industry. We'll chat about how to be authentic and that it's okay not to be perfect or run your business like someone else's Instagram. Let's dive into the privilege it is to serve our clients and discover the talented creatives that make up our community. When we share what we know and who we are, we better serve our couples as a wedding day team, as well as each other. Simply put, be Fabo. Now here's your host, Bobby Brinkman.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. Super excited to bring you another Candid Conversation interview with a fellow wedding pro. Today we're going to talk about live music and production. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest, Tommy Crenshaw. Began his professional career right out of high school, touring with regional bands and managing musical events throughout the Southeast. 25 years later, this native South Carolinian is one of the most sought-after music, entertainment, and production companies by couples and wedding professionals alike. Listeners, I'm so happy to introduce you to Tommy Crenshaw. Welcome to the BFABA podcast, Tommy. So, Tommy, thank you so much for joining us again. I did your intro a little bit earlier, so our listeners already kind of know a little bit about you. But I want to start a little bit different on the interview. And instead of saying, how did you get your start, I want you to explain to our listeners a little bit about exactly what you do. I told them in the interview that you were the music, entertainment, and production, but I kind of left off a little bit about the special event design and how that's something that you're really good at and how you curate that for each of your couples. So let's start off there, talk a little bit about the variances of things that you bring to wedding couples in your industry.
Hey, Bobby, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you again.
Thank you so much for being here.
Well, just let me preface everything by saying we just think you're fantastic. You're a leader in the industry. We appreciate everything you do. You're out there in the forefront, just pushing for professionalism and ensuring these brides and grooms, our couples, have the best that's possible out there. So we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And like I said, I'm honored to be in the industry with professionals like you. And that's the goal of the podcast. I want other professionals to hear about us that maybe don't know about us. But more importantly, I want these couples to understand that we're all human and that we really, really, really do understand the privilege we have of being at their weddings. And if we as the industry can start working together a little more closely and not worry about stepping on toes a little bit, but stay in our own lanes, we can offer our couples a really, truly amazing experience from the minute they hire us till you're playing music at their next kid's, wedding, or you might be playing a super sweet 16 party, and then photographers can photograph that. So building that experience is all about how we do and how professionals are different than just quote the friends. So I know I get some slack about saying that, but I firmly believe that let your friends be the guest and hire the professionals, and the next day you'll still have a friend. So that's important. So tell our listeners a little bit about how you can differentiate yourself from and add that special event design in what you guys do over there.
Wonderful. Well, again, Moon River has been privileged to be in the industry since 2007, and we just love everything we do. I know you probably hear that from a lot of people, but we are absolutely thrilled to be a part of Couples Special Day, privileged, honored, and I can't think of anything better to do for a living. And you're right. We have done weddings for couples that we've done their daughter's wedding. We come back and we do their second daughter's wedding, or we do their sweet 16 party, and it's just so much fun to become a part of their family and to have them bring us into the fold and follow them on social media and see how they're living their summers and falls and just enjoying everything about them. Special event production, it's a broad range. It covers everything from lighting and sound to props and scenery. Moon River started off incorporating special event production, design and production working with meeting planners, working with wedding planners to make sure that everything was in place the way they envisioned. And if they didn't have a design in mind, we would help them envision that design.
Exactly.
A wedding is a special event. It involves everything from lighting and sound to florists to photographers to caterers to renter, chair rentals and florists. So there's a lot that happens, and for a couple, it's overwhelming at the beginning what is available. And our job is to educate them as to here's what I'm hearing your vision is for your wedding, and here's how we can carry that out. With special event design and production experience, even if we're just providing the music and entertainment, as if that wasn't enough, we're able to see the big picture. We're able to see how everything works together, how the day will flow, how the weekend will flow, and help couples envision something that's huge and how to envision that in a smaller scale, and not to be overwhelmed. It can be overwhelming, but with professionals on your side, I always like to say we're here to take exceptionally good care of you. So let us walk you through every aspect.
Well, I think you offer another level too. I mean, you bring in the lighting and you bring in the layers of the visual, but then you guys are also able to bring in that other sense, which is sound, which is vitally important from the ceremony all the way through. Lots of times couples forget, I'll just put the piano on when I'm walking down the aisle, or I'll have somebody nowadays hit the iPhone and we'll have music. And the difference it makes when you have somebody live at the ceremony, even if it's a short time. Can you share a little bit about how you feel as a musician that you can add that element, especially during the ceremony, and the reaction that you get when you're actually there performing live?
Most definitely. There's nothing better than having live music at an event, and especially your special day. It kind of differentiates your wedding from all those in the past. A lot of folks think live music is expensive, and it can be, but it makes or breaks a special day. Folks envision it, and they wonder how we can make it happen, and we try to show them how it can happen. When you have live music on the beach or on the deck of a resort or in a ballroom, it just makes a huge difference to differentiate your wedding from those other weddings you've seen in the past. This is your most special day.
Right.
And live music just brings a special element to the plate that just makes a huge difference. We're privileged to do that. It's the most exciting part of a wedding for us, and we make it easy, affordable, and fun.
So because we live here in coastal, you're up there in coastal South Carolina, but you travel back and forth and do a lot of regional events. How do you manage these couples' expectations if they say to you, it's starting to rain, or it's extra humid here in the South in the middle of summer? How do you handle their expectations for what you can do on the beach with your equipment and with your instruments? If it's something that they have a vision of, but logistically just doesn't work, how do you explain that without crushing their music dreams?
I understand that. Luckily, I can count on 3 fingers how many times a wedding has been interrupted by inclement weather. Usually, 99% of the time, they all come together, and you just have to take a deep breath and realize that this has all been planned out. To the couples, take a deep breath. This has all been planned out. There's backup plans in case something happens. So, hold your breath, and you just have to walk down the aisle. Let us take care of everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. It's our job is to deliver your vision. We're all humans, and we can make mistakes. And I know everybody thinks as wedding professionals, we have a direct link to Mother Nature, and we could just call 9 for whatever for the weather. But realistically, we can't. So when we all work together as a team, and we do have to make those flips, the fact that we're professionals and most often have worked together, we can make the flip, and the couples and the guests have no idea the logistics that went into that. But again, that's why we're there. So I love the fact that that you at least explain that to your clients and things like that. Before we get too much further, give us an idea about why Moon River. Where'd you come up with that name? What's behind that?
Moon River Productions, when I was researching names back in 2006, I wanted something that would flow off the tongue easily, that was representative of the area. And we all know Johnny Mercer,
right?
Moon River. I did research, didn't see anyone using that other than a local brewery, which is a fantastic brewery.
Exactly.
And I thought, it will translate to all ages. For younger couples, Moon River sounds kind of cool. And for the older, for the mom and dads and the grandparents who may be helping pay for the wedding, it definitely comes across as something that they recognize. Everyone knows, Moon River. And
exactly.
So we thought it was a great name, and we decided to run with it.
No, and it works. I mean, and it also goes, there's a moon in Carolina, the flag, everything. So it all goes regionally, like you said. So how did you know, Tommy, that I know you started back right out of high school, but how did you know that music was going to be what you're doing? And then more importantly, how did you know that you needed to be in the wedding industry sharing your talents?
Well, music has always been a passion since I was a kid. I always knew I always wanted to be a musician. And from a kid moving up, listening to, the Beatles and Elvis and everything that was available in my parents' 45 record collection. I just loved music. I love the fact that you can be a communicator and communicate an idea through song and words, and that can make an event or a special occasion even more special. So
right.
I think I've always, I was just destined to do it. I've always played guitar. I've always been cognizant that entertainment music is just the pinnacle of an event. It's subtly, it brings everything together and just adds so much atmosphere to the day. So,
oh, well, right, because you know that. I mean, how many times do you go anywhere, weddings aside, that you go, oh, I remember that song. I remember where I was when I heard that song. And you and I, being at weddings every weekend, when I know that I'm in the car and I hear a certain song come on, I literally, the opposite effect, I got to turn it down because I hear that every single weekend. And I would, I'm thrilled to listen to other music, but, you get in your head in the wedding industry, well, that song is a total wedding reception song. So that when we hear this great song, we now alluded to work and we're not thinking of it. But even then, that's what music motivates you, and music moves you and helps you remember somewhere where you were, whether it's an instrumental or one of a really iconic song. People remember, and that's all part of their memories. And I think that in the wedding industry, most of us are called to be in this creative industry because there's just something in us that we want to share our talents and what we know how to do. And again, you're a total wonderful asset and a truly great guy to have in this industry. So, thank you for being here. So on that, tell us how couples are finding you and kind of like the process it is to book you guys.
Well, most of the couples find us via preferred wedding vendor list at their local, venue, the resort venue they may be choosing. A lot of couples find us just by Googling music and weddings, and they come across our website. We've been fortunate enough to have been in the industry since 2007. So we have some longevity. We've created those links. We've created that search engine optimization. It just takes a while to create all that. And once it's there, find us online very easily.
Right.
And we consider that a privilege that they decide to click on our link and explore us further.
Well, and again, reviews and reputation with other, wedding professionals. I mentioned in your interview that, you're highly sought after by wedding professionals. And I think that the couples that are listening should really take that into consideration. It's one thing to read all these reviews from other happy couples, but man, is it a great mark to be recognized from your peers that this is who you want on the wedding day team, and this is who I want to work with. And I know that you guys recently just were awarded the Knot Hall of Fame, so congratulations on that. I know people think that's an easy thing to do, but it requires that you have done at least 10 weddings a year, and for several years in a row, you have clients that come back and sing your praises. So the Knot, contrary to popular belief, doesn't just hand that out to everybody. You do have to earn that, and it comes from customer and client reviews as well as industry professionals. So, how important is it to you that you build these relationships with the other wedding professionals? And do you do any networking to be around?
I think it's paramount that you have relationships with other vendors. And it's, it's something that has to naturally occur. You can't just set out to become networking and to become great friends with these vendors. It's something that happens if you're professional. It just happens over time. It's very important that you have a broad range of relationships with all kinds of vendors, florists and photographers and chair rental companies. And it's just paramount that you be a peer and associate with the professionals in your industry. So for me, I'm a natural people person. I love meeting people, talking with people. If I weren't so busy, I would be at more networking opportunities, but it's kind of hard, as you know, to be at all these places at one time and to prioritize. And, we think the Knot and, Wedding Wire are paramount to forging those relationships and keeping yourself in that realm of the professionals and just associating with them.
Exactly. No, so how long will you tell our listeners, if people are going to couples are going to start looking for you to book you, how far out do you think they need to be calling you, or at least you need to be on their radar?
Well, again, we're very fortunate. We've been doing this for a while. So right now we're booking into October 2020. So
yep.
It's important that if you have a vision, you reach out immediately to your vendors. And, that's not just music, that's flowers, that's photography, especially there's so many great professionals in this industry. And
exactly.
Reaching out and securing them immediately is very important.
Right. I agree. I think that if you find somebody across your when you're looking to plan your wedding, first and foremost, really try to get a wedding planner, coordinator, designer up front. Save yourself some time, and you can save yourself some money. I know sometimes the planners get mad at me for saying that, but the way that I look at it is they can also help these couples trim things off here and there that they don't necessarily know about. So while a wedding planner can't save your budget, they can help you trim some things. So I do believe that planners offer that good financial guidance along the way. But I tell everybody, if you find somebody and you've made a connection, or now with Instagram, you stalk these, vendors on Instagram. The minute you get that ring, I know it sounds cliche, but you need to pick up the phone and tell everybody, hey, I'm getting married. When are your availability? Because you will lose those that you really want because we book out so quick and so far in advance. So thank you. Yeah. So, thanks for also agreeing with that, because I do think that is something that couples need to hear more from us, that it's okay to call us early. If you don't have a date, let's figure something out.
Just make the connection right away with those you feel, you intuitively feel are connecting with you. Just reach out and just make that connection.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about trends and some of the things that you've seen as, a combination. You see as live musicians, and then you also see, because you do with the DJ team. Have you seen some trends coming, going, some you wish would go away? How are you seeing, couples in 2019 in 2018 and 2019 view live music / DJ combo?
We're seeing, and this is as part of the education process, Bobby, that we stress to our peers, to our professionals in the industry, is that you have to educate your couples, because this is their first time, and we've done it hundreds and hundreds of times.
Right.
But we're seeing that couples are choosing to relax on their wedding day. They're choosing to place their trust in their vendors and to relax and not micromanage every detail of their wedding. Let Bobby handle the photography. Bobby's been doing this for a long time. Let her handle that and move on to something else. And let us handle your music. And you can relieve yourself of so much worry and time by letting us just take care of it, take control of it, working in conjunction with the couple, of course, but relaxing more. Instead of being so, if you're doing an outdoor beach wedding, instead of being so concerned about coming across as fancy and proper, we're seeing brides and grooms couples come across as more relaxed. They're treating their guests to something that is special, but relaxed. You've got the ocean, you've got the location. Let that play into all the planning. Relax. Don't be as fancy as you think you should be, and rely more on what your vendors are telling you that can work and can't work.
And I'm also seeing too that, and I always hate to say it's a generational thing, but I'm finding that most of last year, and so far, everybody that I have booked for 2019, they're doing the experience for their guest. So yes. I don't know if it's the millennial thing, but they're more important to them is, I want my guests to have an experience. And I'm loving the fact that they're doing 3 days. So you guys as musicians should really love the fact that you can play the night before. And I love the fact that we're going to welcome parties instead of so much rehearsal. The welcome parties, you guys can play. Everybody gets to know each other. I love that, because then on the wedding day, I've already met the key players. And it's like, hey, I'm just a guest here with a camera. And you got to feel that way too. So have you been booking? Are you seeing that more people are doing that multi-weekend or the multi-day event for the weekend, that you guys can, be present more?
We are seeing that. Moon River can take care of the rehearsal party and supply you with a solo, duo, trio, band, and make that kickoff a very important part of the weekend. And then we can come in for the day of and provide your music, be it live music, DJ, band. We've got the connections. We'll make it happen for you. And then there's the brunch the day after,
right,
where you can have a little music. It's just as important as the day before the rehearsal party. We are seeing brides and grooms decide on a 3-day event, and making the rehearsal the front cover, the brunch the back cover with their wedding, the centerfold, and the complete portion of the weekend happens, and the guests are treated to an exceptional time that you rarely see a 3-weekend get together celebrating a couple. So it's just a wonderful time, especially for destination weddings.
Oh, exactly. I mean, think about it. I mean, you can attest to this. How many times do you see couples come to the wedding ceremony, even though it's 100 degrees on the beach, they're smiling, where if you're in the middle of Chicago and you're like, oh my gosh, I got an hour-long mass ceremony in this Catholic church, I can't wait to duck out. The difference in how the guests act and are actually smiling at these destination weddings, it indeed makes our job easier. But on the other hand, I feel like a tour guide sometimes going, hey, come off the beach, I got to get the photos over here, or you come in and listen to music. But the difference is that it's becoming, hey, it's not so much about us. I love that the couples are doing 70 people and less and making it the experience. And I feel that we truly are part of their day and their celebration because they're having us multiple times. So, I'm glad to see that you guys are seeing that as well. You're a little bit further north than I am, but I'm glad that it's working its way up there too. So in talking a little bit about that, how do you handle when couples come to you for music? Like, do you give them free reign? Or are there questions that you ask them? How do you get them to say that'll work, that won't work? How do you handle that?
Sure. Yeah, well, we stress, first of all, that this is your wedding and we want to incorporate your music, and we give them ample opportunity to plan their music. And then we work with them to let them know that in our past experience, this works and this doesn't work. So we are very cognizant. We tell all of our couples right up front that live music for your wedding is not a concert. It's an event that where the music is focused on the guest and you. So it's not a concert. It's not a free for all. It's a very centered, thought out, well produced time frame that's happening, and we work with the couples for their wedding music, the reception music, so they have plenty of opportunity to input what their favorites are, and we make sure that we incorporate all those as well as their do not play songs. That's just as important too.
How do you find that? I mean, how do you guys do it that when you're at the reception and you guys are in DJ mode, or maybe even happens in your live music mode? I'm sure people do come up and say, "Hey, do you know this song?" But how do you handle that if an unruly guest comes up and says, "No, I really got to hear the Macarena. Play it now."
Right. Well, sometimes we just don't know a certain song, or we just don't have a certain song. We like to, instead of saying, "Hey, the couple said don't play that," we say, "Unfortunately, we just don't have that for you right now." And most of the time that really works.
Yeah, don't throw the couple under the bus.
Don't throw the couple under the bus. This is, even if they've said, "Don't play this song," we're not going to say that. We're just going to communicate to them that unfortunately we just don't have that, or unfortunately we just don't know that song. So.
Right. So you guys also act as MC for the events, which is something that I think is really special. So not only can you be there to get the ceremony going, but when it's time to come in for the reception, you introduce the people and you kind of just run the rest of the evening MC wise. Is that just something that's automatically included with you guys, or do you really stress that this is something that you need to be able to do so that Uncle Bob isn't on the microphone?
Right. We stress that right up front, that we're here to professionally MC your wedding, and Uncle Bob's welcome to do a welcome if he wants to, but you need to think that through really carefully.
You got your hand on the on-off anyway, right? Boom.
Exactly. For us, for me personally, I think that is the most stressful part of a wedding is doing the introductions, doing the first dance. That's very critical. This only happens one time, and
right.
You've got to get it right. And we caveat our services by saying, we're the non-cheesy part of this whole equation.
Exactly.
We're going to be professional. We're not personalities. It's not about us. It's about you. So we're going to be very professional. We know how to handle a microphone. Everything is short and sweet.
So do you really enjoy the singing live for the first dance? Is that just something that, really makes your heart, beat and go pitter patter when you can sing the couple's first song? But I would imagine, especially, I know one of my favorite parts is if you're lucky enough and blessed enough to have a father around. I mean, I'm quite often got the tears behind the camera going because I love that portion of the day. So do you enjoy singing that live? Is that something that you really like, or would you rather just play the music on hit the button if need be? But if the option arrives to be live, do you offer that? And would you prefer to do that?
Special to play that live, to know that the couple's trusting you that much, to play their first dance or their dance with their bride's dance with their father, or the groom's dance with his mom. It's always a special occasion. We keep that. It may sound corny, but we take that to heart, and it's always special. And then again, now if you are going to be nervous, if you're going to be nervous there at your first dance, and you've choreographed a dance and you have your moves down, then we always counsel with couples to find out if they've done that. And if so, we'd rather play what they've rehearsed their dance to.
Exactly.
But most of our couples, they gravitate towards us because we are so laid back. Even though we take this very seriously, we're pretty laid back people. We try not to take ourselves too seriously.
Right.
So we try to make couples comfortable and let them know that we're going to just take as best care of them as we can.
All right, and that's another reason that you're highly sought after. It's, you're not, quote, seen, but you're definitely heard. And that is a fine line to walk as live entertainment. And I also believe in the DJ world too, but especially in the live entertainment, that you're not up there on stage with some corny outfit on with a bunch of neon flashing signs saying rock star, rock star, rock star, or you introduce yourself by being, recently was touring with XYZ band. It is really, you're on the stage and you guys are just being heard. And that is the beauty and one of the reasons why you are so sought after by everybody in the industry, is because you know how to do that and do that well with respect. So, again, that's one of the things that make you Fabo. So let's talk a little bit about, you have a partner that you come up with, Trevor. So tell us a little bit about that side of Moon River.
Well, Moon River Productions has the music duo Harden Crenshaw, and we specialize in live music on guitars and vocals for your beach ceremony, your rehearsal party, your beach ceremony, your cocktail hour. And Trevor and I have been playing together for 10 years. And we, again, it may sound corny, but we just think it's the pinnacle of honor to be a part of a couple's special day. Everything that Trevor and I do music-wise, Trevor's the musical director. His classical guitar is what he specialized. Classical music is what he specialized in. So we can write and arrange music. We explore avenues of music that others may not be looking at for rehearsal parties and ceremonies. And we just offer that up to the bride and groom and work with them to narrow down what exactly the atmosphere is they're trying to create.
Right.
And Crenshaw has been lucky over the past 10 years that I would say 75% of the inquiries end up with a Harden and Crenshaw music production, because it is so unique. It's a combination of live music and DJ music, which separates us from most other entertainment vendors out there. And we don't say that, I don't say that at all with I'm not bragging about that. I'm just saying we're fortunate enough that we have this little niche that works great for us, and more importantly, it works for the couples.
Well, and you need to brag about that, because again, that is, and again, think about it, couples, you're going to hire these guys to do your ceremony music. Why would you not trust them? And it just goes to show that they do. Once they meet you and you sit down with your experience, but with the fact that you're leading to be of service and you're not giving them a sales pitch, and you're wanting them to have, from the music standpoint, the best service that you can get from you. And when you provide that, they're going to invest in you for the whole way, going all the way through. So you can actually offer these guys customized music. So if a couple comes to you and says, I'm just looking for a little bit of music to walk down the aisle with, or I want something different, you guys are able to come up with, some tracks that are just for them?
Yeah, that's what most couples think, is that, well, we want some music for our ceremony. Well, what you want is memorable music that is fun, that you're going to remember on your 50th wedding anniversary. So let's explore that a little bit, couple. Let's find out who you love. Why do you love that? Who do you gravitate towards music wise, and why is that? So let's explore that. And then it's so funny. We do get couples that say, well, we trust you 100%, just roll with it. And I have to stop and go, no, let's explore what you love, and let's work around that. Let's find out who your favorite artists are. We'll incorporate them. And I can't tell you how many times couples have said, hey, this is a great song, but I don't think I could walk down the aisle to it. It's too upbeat. And it's like, well, let's write an arrangement for it that fits you, that fits the occasion. We'll slow it down a little bit. We'll change some lyrics if you need to. We'll just do it instrumentally if you want to. So we want to make sure that we understand the couple and what their loves for music are, and then we incorporate that into their special day. So it turns out that, well, we trust you, run with it, most often turns into, oh, we never thought about that.
Exactly.
I love that idea.
And again, that's why you hire experts. And especially, I think when you get into the creative side and you want to elevate your wedding to just not be like Susie's from 2 weeks ago or sorority Sally's. You want to be offering something different. You're already coming to a different area. Most destination weddings, you and I both know, we don't often get to see the repeat of the people. I mean, once in a while we get them to come back, but most of the people in the wedding party aren't going to go, I want to go back and do the same exact thing, but I'll come back to a different area and I might get the same people. But it's up to us as wedding professionals to not treat them as exactly their friend's wedding. We have to offer something different. And that's the one thing you guys do definitely, is by offering that custom take on music and helping them guide, and you're helping them orchestrate the music side, which is a whole nother level and a whole nother feeling of a wedding, that the guests sit back and just, my gosh, I didn't recognize that music. I'm not singing to it, but man, I felt that. And that was so representative of the couple. And again, that's why you guys do what you do.
Right.
Go ahead.
We get these inquiries where we're getting married on September 21st. We'd like some info on pricing.
Yeah.
And I love those. Those are the best inquiries, because I get a chance to, if they allow us, to spend some time to educate them on, well, you're not just looking, while you think pricing is important, and it is, we're talking about your biggest day in your life here. So I love those short, sweet inquiries, because it gives me an opportunity to open the door and learn more about them, and then bring them into the education process. And when it's over with, they're like, you guys made that so easy.
Man, that's the reward. When they walk up to you and they hug you and say, man, thank you. I mean, that is when couples take the time to thank you and you see the look on their faces. I mean, that's, I know for me, it's the same way. You brought it up a little bit, pricing. We don't need to go into pricing, but how are you finding, and I know it's always a hard subject, but that's Candid Conversations. This is what we're talking about to help us all grow. Pricing wise, are you seeing that couples are investing more in live music? Are they investing more in you guys as a service? Everybody knows that I preach that, the entertainment people are one half of your wedding. So you need to invest wisely, because they help you at the ceremony, and then they're there for the 4 or 5 hours to keep your party going. So you need to invest in having professionals at your wedding. So investment wise in pricing, are you push back, not push back? What do you think?
We don't get much pushback at all. We are upfront on our websites as to what we do and why we do it. And people gravitate towards us for a reason. We'll never be your cheapest vendor out there. We're not here to be the cheapest vendor. We're here to be the best vendor for you. And pricing wise, we unabashedly we're not ashamed at all to tell you this is what we do and this is our consideration. And we'll work with you on this or that, but here's who we are, and this is why we do what we do, and our consideration reflects that. And it's just some research will show that it's not outside of the realm of what's to be expected. So price is never really an issue for us.
Okay, see, that's that open, upfront, educating your couples, letting them know there's nothing hidden. This is what we can do for you. Let's start a conversation. We might work together, but also we might not be the best fit for you. And everybody's happy. And there's nothing wrong with saying to a client, I would love to be able to make this happen, but we're small businesses as well, and we just aren't going to match on this one. So I wish you the best of luck and move on. And we can't be insulted by when couples don't pick us, just like couples can't be insulted when we unfortunately sometimes can't work with them. So I love the fact that you're open and honest like that. So let's shift a little bit and talk a little bit about business for some aspirations and things about being an entrepreneur. You talked a little bit about the hardest part of the day, but as a business owner, what is some of the struggles that you find throughout the day, or throughout the year of running your business?
Keeping up with the inquiries, being able to dedicate enough time to each couple, being able to spend enough time with each couple to educate them. Just working that into the day is always a struggle. There's so many inquiries, so many opportunities for proposals. That's about the hardest, I believe, is just making sure everyone has our best presentation up front so they can make that decision to continue on that communication with us.
And do you guys kind of, I hate to use the word limit, but, when you get to be good and you're very busy, turning people away is always hard. So ideally, how many weddings or events will you guys take on for a year?
Typically, I was just looking at this the other day, we typically do 45 to 50 weddings a year. And I have a pretty good policy here, how I can qualify couples to find out if they're a good fit for us. And I'll be the first to tell a couple that we're just really not a good fit. So I'm able to go through that process fairly rapidly, but when 90% of our clients that reach out to us are a good fit. So we want to spend the time with those couples to begin that process, the proposal process, the securing the business process, to make sure that that is the most paramount thing.
Right. And that does get daunting. I mean, it's hard for us to want to be there for our current clients, but then we hate turning away other clients, but there's only so much of us to go around. So are there any apps or anything that really technology-wise that you find you can't live without that make your job easier?
I'm Trevor, my music partner, laughs at me because I have 1,000 pages open on my computer at one time. So I'm constantly jumping back between Outlook and Gmail and Act and Wedding Wire and the Knot, and as well as Google AdWords. And I think the biggest, my most trusted companion is using Google Drive and my folders, and keeping everything clean, concise, and crisp, so I can jump to where I need to jump to with ease and take care of our couples. I stress that if you signed on with us, you have my mobile phone number, and you should use that anytime you want to. So when a couple calls, I want to be able to jump right to
where they are and where we are in the planning process.
Exactly. Well, that's that customer service that's one-on-one. And again, that's something that sets you guys apart from others in the industry because you're making that connection. And when you take on 45 or 50 couples, you're with them from the beginning all the way to the end, and you're there to be a service. And, again, that's one of the things that set you guys apart. So, I love the fact that you are that personal and that you pay that attention. So thinking back, was there anybody along the way when you knew you wanted to be going into the wedding industry and entertainment in general, any advice that somebody gave you that just sticks with you?
Well, I was fortunate enough to work with a gentleman by the name of Doug West. He founded West Wind Entertainment on Hilton Head back in the late 70s, early 80s. And he took me under his wing and mentored me in the special event entertainment process. And he would tell me that the most important thing, and I try to keep this in heart, is you're dealing with these are real people, and they have a problem. They need a solution, and you're the person that is on the phone with them or is communicating via email with them. You're the person that is the educator. So relate to them, talk to them. They're just people like you and I, and they need a solution. And you're the person they're talking to. So
exactly.
Reach out and be personable.
Good. Get up, show up, be your best. That's the way to work it. So where do you guys see yourself in the next 3 years? What's some of your goals and aspirations?
Well, I tell you, it's funny. We've been doing this for so long. In the next 3 years or so, we just want to continue working with great couples. And we think about longevity. I'm a little older than Trevor is, and I keep thinking, how long can I do this? and I'm the same age as, to be honest, I'm the same age as some of these couples' parents.
Right there with you.
And then when I get hung up on that, I end up ending a wedding reception, and the couple comes up and just give us a big hug and say, thank you for everything you've done. And, age just falls away. It's not a barrier at all.
Right.
So in 3 years, we want to be doing exactly what we're doing right now, working with even more fabo couples, as you would say.
Yes. I think that's a goal for all of us.
Yeah. And we wouldn't mind, we'd love to get to your area of Georgia more. It's so beautiful down there, and it offers so much to couples. We'd love to get down there more. We'd love to get up into Charleston more, but we're just so busy here in the area.
Exactly.
That we aren't going to sacrifice the job that we do, that we love, just to expand. So
exactly. There's reasons to grow and there's reasons to grow. And when you're growing and you're still challenged, then you're moving your business in the right direction. If you become stale and don't have that oomph anymore, then you have to seek inside yourself and figure out why. And Tommy, lots of times just changing where you're working isn't going to change that. It's something inside you. So just because you change the palm tree doesn't mean it's the palm trees in different states isn't going to make you any happier. And I truly believe that couples can feel that in us. I think couples can sense when, hey, man, this is a needy vendor. They really need us. Or that couples feel, my gosh, I'm just another number. I mean, you're not even asking me a question. You're just, this is what we do and how we do it. And I think when we as wedding vendors get to that stage, we need to take a break. That's just the brutal truth. If you can't love what you're doing and understand that being of service and doing this is a privilege, take a break and see if you find something else that fills you up. And on that token, what's something outside the wedding industry that excites you and that you guys can find a work-life balance for? I mean, I know you and Cathy live up in the Hilton Head area, so as we wrap up here today, what's some of the things that you do to get that work-life balance?
Oh, Cathy and I love to be outside on the water. We love kayaking. We love being out. We're just, Bobby, we live in the we live in paradise, don't we?
Yes.
And being here, we take January and February very seriously because we're able to plan the year, relax a little bit, and do those things that we love to do outside. It's just, it's great because, as you know, March through the rest of the year is just full on tilt boogie. So being outdoors, being with friends, I love all my friends. Trevor is just one of my dearest, closest friends. I love him to death. And I love spending time with him and his wife and his kids. And friends in the industry, love spending some time with them. Playing out live myself, not playing for a wedding is fun too. Playing at a local restaurant, playing at a special event is always so much fun. So it's just, it seems my life has just been destined just to play music and do it with a purpose. And, the purpose is to, you have to make a living, but at the same time, taking care of a couple for their most special day, you just can't ask for anything better to do for a living than that. Exactly.
Love where you live. Love what you do. You'll never work another day in your life. And if you do feel like you're working, at least you got the palm trees and the ocean breeze.
Right.
So that is fabulous, Tommy. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remind our listeners again where they can see you on social Instagram, all that stuff.
Catch up with us at
Productions.com,
hardenandcrenshaw.com. And all you have to do is Google live music, Hilton Head, live music, Savannah, and we're going to be right there on Google's front page.
Exactly. So definitely, folks, I can attest that you want to go hear these guys have them at your wedding. But if you don't have them at your wedding and you're not getting married, again, go to that Hilton live music, and you're going to find a place to sit back and have a nice brew with these guys and be entertained. Thank you again for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you here. Cannot wait to work with you again. And everybody, thanks for joining us. Until next time, we'll see you later. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope these conversations will take you into your wedding weekend with a little more confidence, proud of what you do, and how you serve your clients. Maybe you even picked up a business tip or two. Till next time, be Fabo.